Hey, everybody, this is Jonny Guarco from Real Life Trading Military. Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm so excited. Our guest today is Major Katy Bryant. She's a major in the United States Air Force, and just so excited that she's with us today. Katy, how are you doing?
Doing well, Jonny. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, before we get started with some questions, can you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Michigan. Sure. Yeah. Grew up in Lansing. I did ROTC at the University of Michigan. And yeah, so now I'm in the Air Force, been here 11 years. It's been a very short 11 years. Didn't think I'd be here this long, but here I am. I'm a meteorologist in the Air Force. That's been an awesome journey. Getting to work with the Army is one of the coolest parts of that. And so now I'm at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, actually, which is just about, it's about an hour north of Nashville, but I live in Clarksville. It's about 45 minutes north of Nashville. And a campground, which sounds a lot worse than it is. It's actually really fun. I like to cook, run, snowboard, learn as much as I can, which is why I'm taking trading courses, and then travel and do pretty much anything outside.
All outdoorsy kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, it's especially in the summer. It's finally getting to a point where it's fun.
Are you more of a summer girl or a winter girl?
But it's totally summer. Like I said, unless it's on a mountain. I love the mountains. Trying to get stationed somewhere in Colorado maybe at some point. So.
Oh, nice. I know I've told you this 1,000 times before, but I'm really hoping one day you come out here to Hawaii and get stationed at Hickam Air Force Base.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that one too.
Hey, can you tell us, like, you're trading stocks now, how, especially being in the military, how did you come to get interested in trading stocks?
Yeah, so when I was in college over the summers, I would go down to Houston to work with my uncle. He had a company that, I would just, it's free labor, Mm-hmm. And so I'd be staying with them. So, on the downtime and stuff, he would be showing me kind of what he was doing with his investments and stocks and basically trying to get me early on to invest in my future, which I thank him greatly for, because if it, he didn't teach me everything that I've learned in real life trading. And, to be honest, I wasn't really interested at the time, but at least got me thinking about, hey, this is some of the things you can do with money, before I had to mess around with. So it set my mind right, I guess. I ended up opening a Trade King account and just messing around with it, but I didn't have a whole lot of time or make the time, I guess, to really pay attention to it. So I did a few things, made some dividends, and then got crushed, or what I thought was crushed, on taxes that year. And so I was like, I'm a college student. Why do I have to pay taxes? This is and I ended up, kind of at the end of the day, I stopped doing stuff with it and I just closed it out and pulled the money out and said, I'll figure this out later, type of thing. And then I didn't really touch trading for another 10 years, really, until I found real life trading and started, learning the basics. And that's really, it had always been in the back of my mind, but I hadn't really done anything about it until recently, last year, really. So, and that's mostly because I was getting to the point in my life where, I'd finished all the schooling that I wanted to do, like the formal schooling. And I just wanted to kind of do something that I wanted to do, not that someone was like, oh, you have to take all these prereqs and do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, I don't really care about any of that, but I'll do it because I'm supposed to, But this is something that I could do on my own, something I was interested in. and then thinking about, the future. It's just nice to have a lifelong skill that can always make you money if you need to.
Yeah.
Have some stability for yourself and, my family. And then get to do some of the things that I really like to do, traveling being one of them, experience the world, different cultures, that kind of thing. And then also just being able to have money for anyone or anything that needed it at some point in my life. It'd be really nice to be able to just gift someone 10 grand and because they needed it and not expect a payback or need a payback,
Yeah, man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. So, isn't it funny how I keep coming back to this in life, especially as I get older, but isn't it funny in life how, like the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And back then when you were, working with your uncle, you just maybe weren't quite ready for it. And then you grew up a little bit and started realizing how important an additional income stream is and what you can do with that. And here you are today.
Yeah, it's it definitely laid the foundation, I feel like. And like I said, I probably should thank him more for that. I think I've thanked him before, but now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably just do it again.
That'd be a great thing to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you mentioned real life trading, right? That was my next question is, so how did you find real life trading? How did that all go?
Yeah. So it was kind of random because I wasn't looking for it actively. Like I didn't Google, trading courses or anything like that. I was listening to a podcast while I was running because that helps me run more. And it was a financial podcast. I don't even remember the name of it actually right now, but the person on the podcast had Jerremy on as just to interview him. And so I was like, no, he's saying some really interesting stuff. I'll like Google him or like look up, whatever. And I think I either stumbled across his other podcast that he did, the Broke to Woke podcast with Brittany Turner, or he mentioned it in that podcast. But I started listening to that and really that's kind of what got me into it and got me interested in what they were doing, specifically what RLT was doing. And so at that point, I just started perusing the website, figuring out what they had to offer, made an account, went through the basic course. And then that's when I started looking at the military program, the mentorship program. And that's
how it all happened.
I got here and got to meet you and,
So that was, you keep leading me right into all these next questions that I wanted to talk to you about. So one question I had for you, because I'm retired and I understand what it's like being on active duty. Sometimes you have a lot of time, sometimes you don't. So how do you feel about that, being on active duty and being able to trade? And then tell me a little bit about what you felt about the military mentorship program that we have.
Sure. So in terms of time, I will say you have to be deliberate with it. Like I was nervous about that too. You're always going to feel like you're going to have more time next month or next year or whatever after this assignment,
right,
after this life event. And you don't learn from your mistakes from the past. Like you're not going to have time. You're never going to feel like this is the right time. So you have to just make that decision, I feel like. And so when I got into this job, I was traveling a lot. I still am, but it's definitely died down. But just working around that, taking time, like even if you're on some sort of TDY or trip somewhere, like being like, okay, I'm going to attempt not to schedule anything around this time that I have blocked off for my own personal development. Because one thing about the military that I do appreciate is they encourage personal development. And this for me is what I'm trying to do right now for that. So, I mean, you've just got to make the time and be deliberate about it. And, it's, yeah, I don't know. At night, that's what I do. I go home, I do the things that I need to do to get ready for tomorrow. And then I, just go over trade setups and what I'm doing. And then, listen to the afternoon swing trading room and just do as much as I can with it. Block off times. Just be deliberate about your scheduling.
Right. Prioritizing the time that you have for the important things in your life.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's how you'll know if it's for you or not, and maybe it isn't the right time. Like I said, it took me like 10 years to get to this point, and do I wish I'd started it sooner? Maybe. Yes. But like, would I have been as deliberate with it? Probably not. So, but the military mentorship program. So at first I was skeptical about just joining a mentorship program in general, mostly because I'm kind of a scaredy cat about that stuff when you're getting into a new community, like really diving head first. Like I like to tiptoe in. So I was skeptical about that. I was a little skeptical about actually paying for it without knowing what I was going to get in return, but I do think talking with you when I first showed interest, I think I like signed up for a call with you or something, and you helped ease my mind about it a little bit, explaining, just kind of logistically how it worked. And I just got to a point where I figured if I'm here and I'm going to actually make a commitment to this, that's going to require not just a time commitment, but some monetary commitment as well, and energy, and you've got to invest in yourself, right? So yeah, I just got to a point where I felt like I can't run from it anymore. This is what I want to do right now, so just do it. Why am I scared to do it? So yeah, which sounds like a long thought process for just signing up for something, but for me, that's what I needed to go through in my head to get there. Yeah.
So did you feel that the time that we spent together in the mentorship, did it really get you to that foundational place of understanding technical analysis and trader sentiment? And do you feel like that's a great stepping stone or starting place for the rest of your career? Because once you have that down, then you can really trade whatever you want. And that's whether you want to do stocks, options, futures, cryptos. Did the military mentorship program get you to a point where got you confident enough and say, okay, I got this foundational requirement down. Now it's all going to be up to me what I do with it from here?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Because we covered all the basics. We covered everything, like the principles. Yes, the different types of analyses you can do, technical being one of them. And I feel like it's like any class that you take, like you've got to take it and then apply it and then come back and just knowing more about it than you left the last time, But I think that the courses really helped answer questions, like the mentorship meetings helped answer any questions that I would have. Like it would lay the foundation, you go off and do your thing with it, and then when you have questions, you can always come back. And having that kind of like interaction with someone who's much farther along than you are is, yeah, I mean, it just speeds the process up,
Yeah. Awesome.
And I felt the military, again, kind of going back to feeling nervous about getting into a new community as a military member. And, I felt like that was the easiest way to get into it because there's a common understanding there, right. And that was really helpful. It really made it less, nerve-wracking for me.
Right. So. Yeah. Great points. So at this point in your career, what do you think are some of maybe the top lesson learned so far, or, if you have several lessons learned that you think be important for people maybe thinking about getting into trading to know?
Yeah. So, probably, I guess my thing would be in terms of trading, consistency, just because I mean, that's really like the overall strategy. If you're talking strategies, it's just to be consistent with them. Like you can't just quit after a couple of bad trades.
Right.
It's bound to happen. And
right.
So I'll add persistence to that. So consistency and persistence is like, if you have this goal in mind, like I am going to be here in a year or 2 years or 5 years, like set the intermediate goals that you need to have for that, and then be consistent with it, and do not give up just because, you had a bad week or even a bad month, And then, getting, I guess, a little bit more nitty gritty with it, like your rules, if you break the rule, figure out why you broke it and fix that, or, go back to you or, anyone else at Real Life Trading will help you figure out what, if maybe your plan is wrong, maybe whatever. So like, I would just say, be consistent, be persistent. That's the biggest lesson I've learned, because there are so many times when it would be easy to just throw in the towel or, not continue with it. So. Right.
And have a plan, right? And stick to the plan.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So, we talked about it a little bit, you and I, before. When you're in the military today, there's a lot of great benefits, right? And some of those things are re-enlistment bonuses or incentives to stay in a special MOS. There's, when we go into combat zones, there's tax deferment, and there's a lot of monetary benefits today for service people. So like, what do you think people should do with that kind of money? Because I mean, sometimes you're literally talking $20, $30, $40, $50,000 kind of bonus, right? Either to stay in or to go into a certain specialty. Any recommendations on what people should do with those bonuses?
Yeah, I think you know what I'm going to say here. My go-to is invest it in some way, some shape or form. If that's my number one. And that's what I tell my folks who have those things. I mean, there are any number of things you can do with them, and maybe investing it isn't what is going to work best 6 months from you now, but at least from now. But like, when you first get the money, just invest it and then think about what you want to do with it. Do you still want that car that you wanted a week ago, a month from now? Maybe you shouldn't have bought it. I mean, but what's it going to kill you to wait a month and just kind of sit on it? Feel what it's like to have the money in your investment account. And then if you want to take some out to buy a car, sure. Or pay off some loans, or, that is what I would do with it. And that's what I advise people to do with it. But at the end of the day, it's your value system. You have full jurisdiction over your own value system. So I can't tell you what to do with it, but that'd be my recommendation.
Right. So when you say investing, like if you get a bonus, let's say, because bonuses today can be $20, $30, $40, $50,000, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe you like Tesla, maybe you drive a Tesla, maybe, you're an Apple person. So maybe instead of taking that money and going to buy all kinds of things, take that money and invest it in some stocks, right? Some Apple stock or Tesla stock, and then let that investment grow. And then you can keep your bonus, right? And take the money that you made by investing it and then pay off that car or that new phone or whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Like, you don't have to, it doesn't need to go in your retirement account. You could, play Tesla for a while and see if that gets you enough money to then put a down payment on a Tesla.
Yeah.
Or, an iPhone, if you like Apple, or I mean, that's a great point. Yeah.
That's awesome. So one more last question. So if I was your best friend or somebody you knew that's interested in potentially a new career or generating another income stream, what advice would you have for them at this point, especially if they're thinking, hey, man, I heard a lot of people are making some good money in trading stocks or, whatever it may be. If I was your best friend, and what you know today, what would you tell me? What is the best advice that you have?
Yeah. So I would say, and it's funny you ask, because there are quite a few people, even that I work with, that are interested somewhat in trading, or at least investing in stocks. Crypto's a big thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, did you get in on Dogecoin, whatever, 2 years ago?" I don't know, but they don't understand the basics of the principles. But you can tell it's piqued their interest in some way, and so for those people, I have referred them to real life trading, especially if I think they have the time or they can make the time and they're into, learning something new. Because again, it's a time commitment and it requires that you actually care about it. And it's not easy. So I would say, for them, number one, don't make excuses. Don't wait. It's probably last year was probably better than this year, but this year is better than next year. So do something about it. And oh, by the way, here's this free website where you can go through the basic course, at least on your own, see if you're willing to make that time commitment, see if some of the principles are making sense to you and that's something you want to pursue. That's a free resource that you can just right there gauge your interest. And then from there you can take it and do what you want with it. Take it this direction, take it that direction. It doesn't there's so many variety of things that you can, so many courses on real life trading that you can do. So my thing would be don't waste your time or money doing something rash. Just take your time, learn at least the basic course and see if it's something you're interested in. And then make an investment in yourself at that point. You're, like I said, you're going to have to put resources towards something that you want, whether it's time, money, energy. But yeah, make the commitment. No one's going to do it for you. So go for it.
Yeah, I love that. Investing in yourself and understanding that that's going to take some resources, whether it be money, time, etc. But in this case, people can go to reallifetrading.com, like you say, and go check out all the free courses that we offer. And the starting place would be that beginner's course, right? I think like what you did, right? Wasn't that the first thing that you did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then from there, we got all kinds of moderators and coaches and mentors that can help you pursue whatever career it is, whether you're interested in trading stocks, options, like we said, cryptos, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So, hey, that was awesome. I really appreciate it. Any last words? Anything that you want to tell everybody?
I'm not getting paid to say it, but I am so grateful for real life trading, and that's why I have recommended it to people. Yeah, no, and for you, taking the time. I know my schedule was crazy during our mentorship, but thank you for helping me and being flexible.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. I meet people like you, Katy, and I just look so forward to the day. I'm free now. I'm retired. You one day will be free. We maybe be able to sit on a beach and have our laptops and have a Mai Tai or something like that out here in Hawaii. And there's no better feeling than to be not only free, but financially free, where you don't have to worry about paying your bills and you can live the life that you want to live. So if you guys are interested in that, we'd love to help you. We'd love to have you on our team. Like I say, it doesn't hurt. It just takes a few minutes. Just go to reallifetrading.com and check out our website. And if you have any questions, feel free. You can email me anytime. You can reach me at Jonny@reallifetrading.com. That's JONNY @reallifetrading.com. Again, love to help you. Love to have you on the team. And Katy, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. I'm so happy that, we got to meet that fateful day several months ago, and just love being a friend of yours, and look forward to a great future with you.
For sure. Thank you for having me on, Jonny.
Awesome. All right, guys, you heard it here. Come check us out. Get in touch with me. Until we see you guys again, aloha from here in Hawaii.